The house smelled like lemon cleaner, not fresh lemons, but that artificial, sharp scent that stings your nose as soon as you walk in. It hit me immediately when I opened the door. Lauren had been cleaning again, I could tell. The counters were immaculate, the throw pillows perfectly fluffed, the faint hum of the Roomba still echoing in the hallway. Everything was in its place, but the silence, that was loud. It was a Friday night, a little after 7:30 p.m. I had just come home after a long, soul-sucking drive from work. My shirt was sticking to my back, my collar drooping like it had seen better days. The usual Friday stress, traffic, deadlines, and a couple of missed calls from my boss. The routine. But tonight, I was hoping something would feel different. Maybe we could do something together this weekend. Something to pull us back from this ever-growing void between us. I walked into the kitchen. She was sitting there, perched on one of the bar stools, her phone in her hand. She looked like she belonged in a lifestyle ad. Black yoga pants, a tank top, hair pulled into that perfect ponytail that's supposed to look effortless, but probably took her 20 minutes to get just right. But the moment I spoke, everything froze. "Hey," I said, dropping my bag on the counter. "You want to do something this weekend? Maybe take a drive to the lake house, get some fresh air, stop by Johnny's Diner for breakfast tomorrow?" It's been a while. Her thumb didn't even slow down as it scrolled on her phone. She didn't look up, didn't even acknowledge me. "I've got my own plans, David," she said, her tone flat and uninterested. "You do you." Those words, "you do you," they hit harder than anything she could have shouted. There was no anger, no frustration in her voice, just complete indifference. It stopped me in my tracks. More than any fight, any raised voice, her apathy made me feel like a stranger in my own home. I stood there, my hand still gripping the back of the chair across from her. I don't know why. Maybe I was waiting for her to look up, to change her mind, to take it back. But she didn't. She just kept scrolling. "You've got plans?" I asked, even though I already knew the answer. Maybe I just wanted to hear her say it again. I needed something real. "I'm meeting some friends from yoga. Probably a girls' weekend." I mentioned it last week. Her words were like a slap, cold and final. She hadn't mentioned it. I would have remembered. "You've got your own life, David. Stop making it about you." That was the moment. The realization hit me harder than any slap. We weren't married anymore. We were two people sharing space, like roommates after a breakup who haven't yet figured out the logistics of moving out. I didn't argue, I didn't push. I just walked to the cabinet, pulled out the bottle of Basil Hayden's I'd been nursing for months, poured myself a drink, and leaned against the sink. The silence between us stretched out, thicker than ever. She was already gone, emotionally. I could see it in the way she walked into the living room, sat down on the couch, and buried her face in her phone again. There was nothing left. No fight, no spark, no love. And for the first time in years, I wasn't angry. I wasn't upset. I was just done. The feeling of being invisible, like I wasn't even in the room, was the worst kind of betrayal. Worse than any affair. Worse than any fight. She had already checked out, and somehow I was the last one to realize it. The next morning, I woke up alone. That wasn't unusual these days. She had been spending more and more nights in the guest room because of my snoring. Funny, it never bothered her before. Now it was suddenly unbearable. I lay in bed for a while, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. The coffee maker beeped downstairs. I could hear her moving around. She'd be in the shower soon, and I'd go downstairs, pretend everything was fine, pretend we were still a family. But I didn't feel like pretending anymore. I got up and made my way to the kitchen, my mind foggy. I noticed her phone on the counter, face down, screen glowing. She'd started locking it recently, hiding it from me like it was a secret. I tried to ignore it. I really did. But something in me snapped. I needed to know. I was done pretending not to care. The notifications were relentless. 3 messages from Signal, a secure messaging app. That was new. And suddenly, I wasn't sure if I cared about her privacy or if I just needed to know the truth. I reached for it. But before my hand even touched the screen, her voice came from behind me, sharp and cold. "Don't touch that." I turned around. She was standing there, wrapped in a towel, steam still curling off her skin. Her eyes were narrowed, and her tone was anything but angry. It was warning. A warning I wasn't prepared for. "I wasn't going to," I started, but she didn't let me finish. "Osish." She grabbed the phone from the counter and walked away, her back stiff. "You weren't what?" she asked, already typing something into the phone, her voice tinged with disdain. "You weren't snooping. You never used to be the jealous type." I didn't respond. I couldn't. Instead, I watched her walk away. There was no fight, no resolution, just silence. "Where are you going?" I asked, though I already knew. "Yoga. Again." "Yoga," she said without missing a beat. "I'm late." "Are you sure it's yoga?" The words slipped out before I could stop them. She stopped, turned slowly to face me. Her eyes were sharp, defensive. "What exactly are you accusing me of?" I didn't know how to answer. I didn't want to accuse her, but every part of me screamed that something was wrong. I just want to know if I still have a wife. She looked at me for a moment, her expression unreadable. You know what? Maybe I'll stay at Jen's tonight. I couldn't stop myself. Jen, huh? The invisible friend who always shows up when I'm not supposed to ask questions. She froze, her shoulders tight. You're the one who's changed, David. You're the one who stopped seeing me. That was it. That was the moment it all became clear. She was already gone, and I was just trying to catch up. I moved out that weekend. No fighting, no arguing. I just packed up my things quietly, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. I didn't feel anger or relief. I just felt free. For the first time in years, I wasn't waiting for her to choose me. I was choosing myself. A few weeks later, Lauren came by. She stood in my new place, looking at the unfamiliar space, the bare walls. I miss you, she said, her voice small. I didn't look up. You miss control, I replied. That was the last time I saw her, the last time I heard her voice, and for the first time in my life, I knew what peace felt like. I wasn't sad, I wasn't angry, I was free.